can't stand it any longer, so I've booked my appointment in your schedule. Get ready, hold on tight, because I'm charming as and I sell the dream. We'll have some fun.
Yeah, I've got you now.
There must be something in the water there. You're looking younger every time I see you.
You know what? I agree with you.
Tell us a little bit about what that transition was like from real estate in the UK. Do you think you had any type of advantage?
Probably not. It's all about the mindset. This is the most adaptive industry to come into because all you need is people skills.
How do you think living in Dubai has impacted your professional growth?
I'm probably dealing with high net worth clients at a far higher level than I ever would have been in the UK. If you're in the right company, it's fun. When you're in an office and you're around like-minded people, the day flies by.
It does become quite an addictive environment.
It's incredibly addictive. If you're in the top 3 in our company, you would have generated between 6 and 10 million dirham.
2.2 million pounds.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of money in pound sterling. The rest of the world don't realise what an amazing place Dubai is. Sell me a city I'd rather live. Sell it. Please, try.
On today's episode, I have the pleasure of interviewing Darren Jarvis. This guy needs no introduction. Currently one of the leading real estate brokers in Dubai, selling multi-million pound properties. We supported Darren and his family relocate to Dubai over 7 years ago. He's going to share with us a journey from before, during and after arriving in Dubai. It's a great episode. You wouldn't want to miss it. Mate, there must be something in the water there. You're looking younger every time I see you.
You know what? I agree with you. Yeah, I do, Guy. I also got to be aware there's going to be lots of females watching this. Is that okay? Is that nice enough?
That is good. Look at that. Nice promotion of luxury property in the background. Is Mark tell you to get that in? Was that part of the deal?
It's just a nice backdrop.
We'll let you speak to Guy Last, but you have to get luxury property in the background. Well, look, I appreciate your time coming on. I know you're extremely busy and we want to touch on lots of stuff because I think the most value that you're going to be able to give is where the market is and what the job looks like.
Yeah, and also what life it's given me and what living in Dubai is like. Because when someone asks me, what's it like living in Dubai? Trust me, no one gives a better answer. Why? Because I believe in it. I believe in what I'm saying. I can talk from a family man point of view. I can also talk from a young person's point of view, because in my head I'm still young and I still love going out and being an idiot. So I think I'm like well placed to give the pros and cons from both sides.
Okay then, so for everybody listening in then, DJ Darren Jarvis, tell us who you are, where you are currently sitting, what did you do this morning, where are you today?
So today I'm in my office at luxuryproperty.com. Morning's been good, so I woke up, sun is shining, I walked the dogs. That's always a good start to the day. My eldest is taking her GCSEs right now, so I made sure she was set for the day for the exam she's got. I think it's English today. Yeah, I know I shouldn't look like I've got a 16-year-old kid, but I have, and you're thinking, wow, did he start at age 17? Whatever. I left the house at 9:30. I've been in Dubai Hills today, on Hills View and Hills Grove, which are 2 communities within Dubai Hills that have some incredible mansions, some like super mansions in the truest sense, super mansions. And then went on to a development called Golf Place. And I got into the job at about 12:30 local time. And since then I've had a couple of coffees and spoken to 1 or 2 colleagues.
And just share with everybody, what is your current role, position?
So my current position with my current company is I'm an associate director. What does that really mean? It means I'm a broker first and foremost, because it's what I love doing more than anything. So different companies, as you know, different companies have different titles for brokers depending on what stage of their career they're at, whether it's broker, senior broker, director or associate director. And we have a private client advisor, then a senior, and then associate director. So within the company, I'm an associate director. But what that really means, I'm still a broker. I am still running my business within the company. I'm still driving my day. I'm still driving forward what I want to do. And my average day looks like me probably arriving in the office anywhere between 8:30 and 9. I'll be in here for 2 or 3 hours in the morning, probably like prepping my day, probably getting things set up or following up from previous day. I then spend the afternoon probably out meeting clients, whether that's viewing with clients, whether it's meeting sellers, whether it's listing appointments. Because I'm tending to operate more at the prime and super prime end of the market, I'm perhaps not seeing as many clients as what some of my colleagues are. And then obviously viewings will be mid-late afternoon, sometimes in the evening. So every day kind of encompasses similar things, but often has a slightly different structure.
Sure.
I don't really have to be in the office as much as I am, but I choose to be because I actually like being here, you know.
How long have you been in Dubai now?
About 7 years. Obviously,
7 years.
I first came to Dubai when you placed me with my only other company I've worked with in Dubai, who was a brilliant company. You know, I'm happy to mention their name if you allow me. Brilliant company. Yeah. House and House, great company. Gave me a really good introduction to Dubai real estate. Which, although I was involved in real estate in the UK, it's very different here. It's better here. It's actually, I believe it's easier. I think it's easier to sell property in Dubai or lease property in Dubai than it is in the UK. But yeah, so 7 years from when you placed me at my first company. Had an 18-month break back in the UK, got stranded with COVID a little bit. And then been back in Dubai approaching 3 years. You
mentioned you did real estate in the UK prior to arriving in Dubai, and the majority of candidates that we place in Dubai, in fact, I'd probably say nearly over 95% of candidates that we place in Dubai real estate actually go there with no previous real estate experience. So some people looking in may say, oh, you had an advantage. So tell us a little bit about what you actually did in the UK then, and what that transition was like from real estate in the UK to Dubai, and as mentioned, do you think you had any type of advantage in that way?
Just before I left the UK to come here, I had my own nice little estate agency in our local town, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It was great. You know, for the part of the market we was in, it was enjoyable. And before that, I had that a few years before that as a financial advisor. But I realised that my passion was in wanting to sell property rather than arrange finance for them. So coming over to Dubai to work in real estate here, was it an advantage? Probably not. Probably not. And the reason I say that is because I think it's sometimes better to come over to Dubai more with the right skill set and the right mindset, right? And rather than, I sold property in the UK or whatever country they were in, so that makes sense here. Because I think those that come over who have experience in another country of selling property probably come over with maybe a little bit of baggage, maybe not. I don't think I came over with baggage, but sometimes you'll kind of think, well, I did it this way when I was in the UK, I did it that way, as opposed to really moulding kind of a style here or a way of working. And it's really interesting that you say, Guy, 90% approx of people you recruit actually haven't been selling property. I totally get that, because I know, and you know better than anybody, it's all about the mindset and their personality, and if they're driven and their goals. It's all about that. I often say this is the most adaptive industry to come into, because all you need is people skills. And I love the sound of my own voice a bit too much, but genuinely, all you need is great people skills, and be able and have a bit of drive. You don't need experience to be here at all. I think it's better that people haven't got experience. I go as far as saying that. And the last thing I'll say is one of our most successful brokers of recent times, literally, he's one of our top leasing brokers right now. 12 months ago, he was selling caravans in Skegness, static caravans in Skegness. Now, I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying.
No.
And now he's killing it.
I used to play football there years ago, and it was just the thought was just cold,
Skegness Town. You probably
windy.
played the same place as me against Skegness Town.
Probably. It was just not a nice place to go. But let's just take that as an example from selling a product like caravans to then renting out £1 million properties in Dubai under the sun. What are the differences from UK estate agency to Dubai real estate?
The biggest one of all is like relationship building, network and relationships. It's the biggest, clearest difference. There's other differences, of course there is, but that one is massive. In the UK, as a homeowner, you decide you want to sell your property. You engage the local estate agent or an online cheap one. What they do is put your home on Rightmove. and somebody sees it on Rightmove, and then they decide to go and view it, and they might buy it, they might not. Whereas here, even though we have portals here, Property Finder, Bayous, and one or two other ones that are coming along, out here, it's much more about relationship building. Whether that's with your sellers or with your buyers, you are spending a lot of time with them. You are getting them into a position where they're so comfortable with you, they don't want to look online. And you probably have the units and the options yourself. If you haven't, you undoubtedly work with people at other companies that do have those listings, which is another key difference. Here, you'll do lots of deals with other brokers, whether those brokers are in your company or whether they're from another company. And again, that's relationships. So if you are a great relationship builder, if you are great at building rapport, if you are great at creating a network, consciously or subconsciously, then amazing. That's the biggest difference.
And do you think that's changed in Dubai over the last 7 years?
I don't think that's changed, and I don't think it ever will. I think how in-depth those relationships go is sometimes linked to what area of the market you're looking after. Whether you are entry or mass market or dealing with prime, super prime, maybe that level of engagement changes depending on what area of the market, but the basic principles is the same.
How do you think living in Dubai has impacted your professional and personal growth?
I would say how it's impacted my professional growth. First of all, I believe that I'm probably dealing with high net worth or ultra high net worth clients at a far, far more regular level and a far higher level than I ever would have been in the UK. That includes if I was decided to be an estate agent in London, right? A lot of my clients have become friends, good friends, and you get it to a stage where they only want to work with you. You're their trusted go-to person. Well, every time they buy, if it's through me, I'm earning money. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to justify that by making sure every single time I'm giving them amazing advice. So I don't make a mistake. I never mess up. And that means they'll always use me time and time again. On a personal level, it's been incredible. Obviously, I've got, wife and two daughters here. Education for them is amazing. It should be. We're paying for it. But facilities-wise and the results that are attained by students in these schools is outrageous, so quality of education, quality of life for them, opportunities for them, and it's not just the shiny, glossy things like amazing malls and really nice brunches, and it's not just those things, it's the things that cost nothing. So it's various beaches, it's going out into the desert, life couldn't be better,
That's good.
I love the UK, I'm passionate about the UK, I love visiting family and friends in my hometown, but I can't ever see myself living back in the UK. That's reality. Even when my daughters have gone through school and uni, I'll still be living, in Dubai, I would imagine.
Relocating with wife and kids, was there quite difficult discussions to have? And how was that relocation process for you guys?
I discussed it with my wife. I spoke to lots of people. I gained lots of opinion. I spoke to brokers who are already working here. And then I just made a conscious effort to think, right, I'm confident. I know what I can do. So for me, it was, my wife supported me. So did the girls, even though they were young at the time. If they'd said, no, we don't want to live in Dubai. We don't want to move overseas. We don't want to leave our family. I probably wouldn't have done it because my daughters are my world. They're my why, and they're my why of everything. But thankfully, they were on board with it, and so was my wife. And so for me, it was planning. I think, if someone's single in the UK with no huge commitments means a mortgage. Even if you've got a mortgage, rent your house out, don't sell in the UK now, market's terrible anyway, rent it out, okay? Yeah. But if someone's got no real commitments, what a time to come and do what I did. And if you've got family, if you've got wife and children, you can still do it. It's all about how you do it. So my commitment to making sure it worked well for us is I first came out on my own for 6 months. So I left my wife and children at home, and I came out with savings behind me, and I started work at House and House. I was here 6 months on my own. They visited me once during that 6 months. And then once I was happy that I'd got my, professional kind of life in order, and I understood the job, and I'd sold a couple of properties, and I understood the role, at that point did I then relocate them over. And I would say that's the best bit of advice I could ever give. I know it doesn't sound nice. I know it's upsetting. I know it's not ideal, but come over on your own for 3 to 6 months and get set up, get going, because that early commitment that not just you make, but your wife as well and your family, they're making that commitment with you. That commitment and buy-in, that's what probably sets you up for success. And it allows you to focus. And the world's a small place now with Zooms and online meetings. That's probably the biggest bit of advice I would say for anybody with a family. Unless you are laden with cash already and you can come over and support you and your family, whether it's school fees, rent, or a mortgage if you're buying straight away, or and cost of living. That would be my biggest advice to anyone with families considering that move.
Because ultimately, what you don't want to do is disrupt too much within the family over a short period of time. For whatever reason, it may not be the right decision. You can simply just move back and there's no disruption to the family. And again, I always say, you can then also be quite selfish with your time. If you need to stay in late during the first month, if you need to work to 7 and 8 to get your pipeline up and running, to do that networking, to meet that additional client, whether it's evenings or weekends, you don't have to be over concerned about getting home and looking after the family and helping them settle in.
You can get in the office by 9 latest and you can stay here till 8 or 9 p.m. And that sounds like a long, hard day. Trust me, it's enjoyable. It's brilliant. If you're in the right company, it's fun. When you're in an office and you're around like-minded people and you're getting work done, but you're enjoying being around the people you're with and you're on the phones and you're speaking to owners and you're speaking to clients, the day flies by. It's fun. And you're right, that gives you the key to be selfish. That gives you the chance to be selfish. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, it is. And set yourself up. And like you said, it's all about the environment and culture, because you try and put yourself in an environment and culture that is either motivational, inspiring, or creates happiness. And the great thing about what Dubai does in general, but particularly successful real estate companies in Dubai, is that they create happy places where people want to be. If you're an ambitious entrepreneur, it does become quite an addictive environment to be.
It's incredibly addictive. It's enjoyable. And if you have a passion for property, it helps. But even if you haven't, it's incredibly addictive. But even your network within your office is like-minded people and you'll enjoy being around them. But extending beyond that, so my network, what I'd call my real estate broker network, is across many brokerages in Dubai. From my previous company to some of the larger companies out here, and you meet brokers at events or at viewings or when you're working together. A network's massive, and I am surrounded by people who have a similar mindset to me, like doing the same things. It's brilliant. It's so often it doesn't feel like work. Is hard work needed? Yes. But is it hard? No.
We have really touched on the positives. On the other side of the coin, what has been, some difficult moments for you that you've clearly overcome?
And there's a reason why I'm saying this, right? I have only worked with 2 companies in Dubai, okay? You placed me with one, House and House, and then I was asked by my current company to join them. I wasn't looking to leave House and House at all. Why do I say that? I say that because I think I've not had many moments where I've had doubts or worries or concerns. There's been 1 or 2, I'll come on to them. But the reason why I don't think I've had those doubts or worries or concerns is because I was at the right company or companies. There's some really, really good people that come over here and it doesn't work out for them. And the reason it doesn't work out for them, 100%, is because they haven't joined the right company. Anyone can sound really impressive on an interview as an employer, okay? But when they arrive and they say, whoa, hang on a minute, it's not what I was expecting. They're not getting the support that they thought that they were told they would get. They're not getting the lead generation. They're not getting tools, okay? So for me, joining the right company is the most important thing. So let's say my previous company or here, if I went a month or 2 when I didn't sell something, and I was thinking, I'm okay, but I need to sell something. What am I doing wrong? I never thought, is this not for me? I never thought, is this not working out? I never thought I would, should I go home? But if I thought, right, okay, when you're at the right company, if you need to speak to your, management team around you, the bosses, whatever it is. If it's the right company and they have the right leadership in place, they'll say, right, okay, listen, believe in the process. Keep doing A, B, C, and D. Keep doing these things. Because if you do these things, trust me, I believe morons can make money. Morons make money in Dubai. So being at the right company ensures that if you do have a month or two, things aren't going right, you've got the right people around you. Does that make sense?
It's 100%, mate, 100%. And in fact, it's the justification why candidates should speak to us. Because getting a job in Dubai real estate isn't a problem. The problem is knowing which is the right company to go to. And ultimately, that's where we, bridge that gap.
It's so true. Okay, it's a podcast, okay, by Guy Last. I get this, right? I'm not doing Guy Last promotion. I'm doing this because A, me and you get on really well. We're good friends. B, you're the reason I came to Dubai, and I've had an amazing 7 years. And if I can play a role in someone else having an amazing time or life, fantastic, because it's nice to be nice. But what I was going to say is this, genuinely now, what if I come to Dubai and I join the wrong company? Because before I come here, I don't know if they're the right company or not. In my opinion, there's only 6, 7, maximum 8 companies that I'd recommend anybody ever considered joining. You probably work with them all, Guy, right?
Where would you tell people to get advice from? They may reach out to certain blogs or groups, Facebook groups. Is there anywhere that you would advise people to reach out to for advice if they didn't know anybody in Dubai?
Facebook groups, to a degree. I would reach out for general life advice, okay? The minute someone says, oh yeah, I'm coming to Dubai, or I've arrived in Dubai, I'm in real estate, some of the comments, right, that people receive back from that is like, it annoys the hell out of me, because for people to kind of sometimes talk about real estate in a disrespectful way on Facebook groups, and the people who are speaking this way sometimes are probably just annoyed that they never made that step themselves. They're annoyed that they're in their 9 to 5 job, 9 to 6 job, not enjoying it and not getting paid really well. Still reach out to Facebook groups, but take with a pinch of salt some of the comments they'll get. But search for the top brokers, search for the top companies. Like, for example, I'd like to think I'm one of Dubai's, better successful brokers. Of course I would. If someone contacts me direct and asks about life in Dubai or advice or, how it works and what does it look like, I'm only too happy to tell people. Because why? Because it's nice to be nice. It's nice to be nice. And everyone's been in that same boat. And I remember that. Just work out a way, whether it's social media or whatever, go on Property Finder and see who's got what listings in what areas, how many listings. Work out a way to get to speak to some of these people, because you'll be surprised how many people are really happy to give advice and guidance and help.
Every successful person has been through a very tough time. They're always the best people to reach out to. So are you happy to share like what your journey's been like in terms of your success and, particularly over the last couple of years?
When I joined House & House, I went straight into sales. That's probably an ego thing and a fault on my part. And actually now looking back, I'd go into leasing for 6 months, 9 months, quicker money. You get to know your clients far quicker. You're speaking to far more landlords, property owners, carrying out far more viewings. You get to understand communities quicker, and those landlords and tenants become sellers and buyers. So it's not wasted. So looking back, I wish I'd have gone into rentals, and House & House encouraged me to do that. I didn't want to. They allowed me to go straight into sales. Now, as it happens, I did sell a villa after 3 weeks for 3.8 million, but I wish I should have got into rentals. And so at House & House, I had the training with you before I left the UK, went to House & House, great training, had a great couple of years at House & House. By the time when I left House & House, I was number 2 in the company. And if any House & House people are watching this and they question that, they can go back. I've got a picture of that board somewhere, December, whenever it was, but I was number 2.
Who was number 1? Who was number 1?
So at the time, who was number 1 at the time? I'll work it out and I'll WhatsApp you later.
Okay,
but
perfect.
And I say that because I actually got success quite quickly, I think, at House & House. And then at this company, where I am now, at Luxury Property, what has that journey been like? Well, I joined when we perhaps had, I don't know, let's say 25, 30 brokers. Did my first deal within 2 to 3 weeks. That was selling a property in Emirates Hills, which, as you know, is one of the super prime communities here. So that was really nice to kind of hit the ground running that way. My first full year was very good. Where did I rank in the company order at that time? I don't know. fourth, fifth, sixth, maybe.
Yeah.
And then last year was my second full year at my current company, that we have like 65, 70 brokers, and I was number one, which I would strive to be and want to be.
Yeah.
I'm happy to tell you what that meant figures on the board if you want me to. People know.
Yeah, it'd be great. I think it'd be great. I mean, look, it's inspiring, of course. People are asking, what do you earn? What's your salaries and things like that? You're selling multi-million pound properties.
If you're in the top three in our company, you will have put on the board, I know that's an expression used in Dubai, so
Sure.
commission generated for the business. You would have generated, say, between 6 and 10 million dirham.
2.2 million pound.
Yeah, a lot of companies have different commission structures or percentages that they receive. It tends to vary from, let's say, 50%, maybe up to 60, 65%, sometimes 70, depending upon your experience, what you've achieved and what company you're at. And by the way, for anyone watching, the companies that pay the highest commission doesn't mean they're the best companies to work for at all. Don't ever be suckered into thinking, I'm going to go and work for that company because they're going to pay me 70% commission. Don't do it. There's reasons they have to offer that and say that. But anyway, generally, companies will have a tiered commission percentage depending on the experience and success of their brokers. In our company anyway, the top three people did between 6 and 10 million. If you did 10 million, if you was on 60%, you've got paid 6 million dirham tax-free.
Yeah.
So if you get paid 6 million dirham tax-free, that's quite a lot of money in pounds sterling.
That means you earn 1.2 million pound tax-free net in 1 year as a top real estate broker. I mean, a part-time broker that's been in Dubai for 3 or 5 years at the moment was probably earning £250,000 a year.
And let's not kid ourselves. That's still an incredible amount of money. £250,000 a year, tax-free. You've got to be earning £500,000 a year in the UK to get that tax-free practically. That's still an incredible amount of money, Market's better now than when I first... Market was good when I first came. Market's better now. When I first came, a good broker, if you did like, say, 1.3, 1.5 million dirham in a year, a commission generated, you'd go, they know what they're doing.
Good.
They're a broker. They know what they're doing. Now, I'd say that benchmark is 2.5 million. And someone goes, okay, they're a good broker. They know what they're doing. But let's break that down. If someone does 2.5 million, I'd say keep it conservative, I guess, right? 2.5 million dirham commission generated, and worst case, they're getting paid 1.25 million. Well, there's your 250,000 pounds. It's actually more. It's probably 300,000 pounds. And I'm keeping it conservative. Okay. You can be earning that in year two. You can be earning that in year two. That sounds like that's a lot of.
It's strange, isn't it, when you say it's not a lot of money, but when you're in Dubai, when you're surrounded by the people within your offices and the industry, and you see it so often, it's actually you see how achievable it is.
Yes. Sorry, yes. I don't want people thinking, what's he on about? Absolutely right. It is a lot of money. It's an incredible sum. It's a huge sum of money. It's not that difficult to get there, honestly. It's who you can be doing that, no problem. Honestly, is it hard work at the beginning? Yes, because it's time consuming. Let me put it that way. It's time consuming. It's not hard work. It's a bit of graft, but it's time consuming. It's not hard work. Okay. But is it easily achievable? Yes. Morons make good money here. Hate saying it, but they do, But someone could be doing, 2.5 million dirham commission generated in year two. Absolutely. We have numerous brokers that did 2.5, 3.5, 4.5 million last year. There's other companies who did far greater figures than we did. So I know this because they try and recruit me all the time.
Back in the UK, if someone came up to you and said, I've got a job for you, I'm going to pay you £100,000 a year tax-free, how hard would you be willing to work? And the majority of people would say, I'll work 12-hour days, 7 days a week. And
I'll chop off my left arm for you. You're absolutely right.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? And what's your belief in Dubai? Where do you see Dubai going, and in the short and long term?
As far as like looking at Dubai and where I see Dubai going short term, long term, and the market, yes, it's good right now. But what defines good? Why are people saying the market's great in Dubai right now? Right, good means that people are buying property, okay? good might mean that prices are increasing, right? I thought, oh, yeah, but how long is that going to last? When's a correction going to come? Oh, I was here in 2008, 2015. 2008 was a crash, but it was a brand new market. There was no regulation. You know, banking was ridiculously loose. 2015 was a correction. So 8 crash, 2015 correction. I still believe we're in the early days of a current cycle that's going to last for quite a few years. I believe that we're on an upward, not at the rate it has been the last 2 years, right? But price is appreciating. I believe that's going to continue for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And more importantly, you've got to look at why. So why is that going to continue? Why is Dubai such a, why does it seem not recession proof or, but what's driving it? It's really simple. So in this amazing country that I'm afforded to live and the people that run the country, okay, Dubai is one of the cheapest cities to still buy real estate in. When you compare it to London, Paris, New York, Rome, Toronto, whatever, Singapore, list is quite endless actually. We're still way cheaper to buy here. Why is that relevant? It's relevant for many reasons. It's relevant because let's look at 3 big events in Dubai that happened around 2 years ago. There was Expo, and I'll explain why this is all linked. Expo, there was the 2040 vision, and there was the announcement of the new visa situation, the new visas that are available. And I believe those 3 events were planned strategically. It wasn't coincidence, it was strategically planned to coincide together. And where I'm going with this is this. 2040, it was announced that, 2020, they announced we want to double the population of Dubai by year 2040. Expo happened in Dubai. Was it a great event? Yep, amazing. Did they kill it? Yeah, incredible. But why did it really happen? Expo, in my opinion, was only to tell the rest of the world that don't realise what an amazing place Dubai is to either come and live a single life, come and raise a family, live crime-free, live around amazing beaches and amazing restaurants, earn tax-free, have a business here, or a number of the above, right? Yeah. Expo was to tell the rest of the world that didn't know that already. Yeah. So 2040 vision, Expo, and then the visas. All of us, when I first came to Dubai, I could only get a work visa. Now you've got work visa, you've got 2 property visas, 2 investment visas, remote working visas, business visas. You've got golden visas, right? There's numerous visas available. So it's made it easy for people to come to Dubai, okay? Those 3 things are working unbelievably well. Yeah. More and more people are coming to Dubai. And what does that look like in numbers? In numbers, last year, 22,000 new units were handed over. So 22,000 new properties were handed over. People got the keys, okay? Net immigration statistic, there's some like 38,000 people arrived. New visas arrived. Yeah. 22,000, 38,000. Let's take off a few for migrant workers. Let's bring it down to 33,000, okay? There's still a huge imbalance. So that tells me that those 3 things have worked brilliantly. That also tells me we're in a market right now of all-time record inventory low. Stock levels are low. What happens in any industry when something is low? Well, it goes for more money. It doesn't come down. That'd be crazy. That wouldn't. So for me, Dubai, as far as business-wise in real estate, it's going to keep growing. Is it going to do that like it has in the last 2 years? No. Is it going to do this? Yeah, absolutely. Of course it will. Because they can't build enough new homes. Those 33,000 people that arrived, they needed to live somewhere. That didn't include spouses and children, by the way. That was, income earners, right? They needed to live somewhere. So they either had to rent somewhere that somebody else had purchased to rent out, or they had to buy somewhere. Facts are 33,000 people came in, 22,000 new homes. We're already at record lows. Yeah. They, meaning Dubai, Dubai needs to hand over 29,000 new homes every year till 2040 to meet that demand if they double the population. I mean, that's an incredible amount. So from my point of view, Dubai real estate is going to continue growing. Inflation's at good levels here. The economy is really strong. Banking is really strong. Rates are exactly where they should be. They're not too low, but they're nowhere near middle to high. No. So I do believe Dubai is kind of mildly recession-proof. I do believe Dubai is entirely different to any other real estate market in the world. So Dubai for me is going to keep growing and growing and growing. And, you know, people want to come and live here, not because of how COVID was dealt, not because of how, just earning tax-free or it's really nice weather for 10 months of the year, because of so many reasons. So many reasons. You know, and a lot of it's business-based and a lot of it can be tax-based. But Dubai is now amazing for families, people bringing businesses in, single people coming in. So for me, Dubai is going to carry on as it is. And all those reasons, Guy, to go back to what you said 10 minutes ago, I apologise, I speak so much.
No, it's
but
good.
to go back to what you said 10 minutes, where do I see myself in let's say 10 years? Well, firmly in Dubai. Why, there's no other city I'd rather live. You know, there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather live. This is a really good debate I have with anybody, be it friends, family, people who live here, clients. And I do it in jest. Okay, it's a nice light-hearted conversation. But genuinely, I ask anyone, sell me a city I'd rather live. Sell it. Please, try it. Because it either hasn't got the beaches or it hasn't got the desert that I love going out and doing things in the desert, right? It hasn't got the schools. It hasn't got zero crime. It hasn't got the amazing restaurants, okay? It hasn't got the gateway to the rest of the world. But I've been Maldives 3 times, you know, in the past couple of years. It's 4 hours away. It's like living in the UK and going to Tenerife, but slightly better beaches, right? So, but you see my point, you know, we're a gateway. Honestly, people can't sell me a better city. If there's a better city for me and my family, I'd go and live there. You know, so to answer your question from a few minutes ago, because of all these reasons, quality of life, family life, what my kids can do here, what I enjoy doing here, and the opportunity that still lies ahead for me to do even more than I've ever done and grow even more professionally, I'm going to be in Dubai in 10 years, as sure as night follows day. There's no two ways about that.
One thing that I've experienced from my time in Dubai is that you mentioned recession proof, and Dubai's doing an incredible job at putting things in place right now to make it recession proof. But even if there were some form of recession, one thing that Dubai has historically proven is that they adapt very, very quickly and they bounce back and they're able to implement things. And what's your aims for the rest of the year? When we sit down come Christmas time, what would you have hoped to have achieved and have done? Have you got any sort of goals set for this year?
I would hope that I am number one in my company again. If I'm not, then someone's had an amazing year. I'd love seeing people do well, okay, but I like to be the main guy in my company. So I hope to be number one. If I'm number one, that means I've had a similar year to last year, maybe better. There's 1 or 2 investments I want to make myself on a personal level. That's all real estate linked.
Sure.
I want to, take my daughters away on another couple of great holidays. So that's, for me, that's where I want to be at the end of the year. I want to do better than I did last year. There's 1 or 2 interests, like development-wise, that I want to get involved with. I hopefully I will do, which won't detract from what I do as a broker, because I love being a broker. I do. So I won't ever take away from that. For me, it's as much about the win. Like, for me, it's as much about the win as it doesn't matter so much the money. Sounds a bit easy to say that or flippant, but I mean it genuinely.
Sure.
It's kind of winning. Just want to. I just like winning. Winning doesn't mean you have to be number one. Winning means you, as an individual, you're the best version of what you can do. Yeah. Anyone who knows me well, I hope would always go, Darren, really nice guy, super nice lad, sometimes overconfident, borderline arrogant, but he's a nice guy. He'd help.
100%. I can vouch for that.
I don't want to appear over arrogant or egotistical, but I do like being number one.
Yeah.
It's just a little thing inside me, and it is what it is.
Well, it's all part of the game as well, right? It's you're in that environment, and if you're in that environment, why not be the best you can be? And it's the same for me. I like being number one, and of course, by being number one, there's other benefits that come along with that. And financially is one of them. For anybody listening, and we will put the links below, but where would you say is the best place for people to follow your journey now? Is it Instagram, Luxury Broker Dubai?
I'd probably say Instagram, which is Luxury Broker Dubai. I'm trying to improve my Instagram presence all the time. I've got a colleague who's working closely with me. He's helping me with that. I'm trying to bring myself up to current day, as I think it's really important. With social media, it's big now, but it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And people can really have an impactful social media without losing any dignity.
How much of an impact do you think it's having in Dubai? I mean, because there are many agents that caught onto it early, doing incredibly well. And there's some people now starting to build their profile and presence.
Done right and done well, it's super important. There's two brands. There's the brand you represent, and there's your own brand.
Yeah.
And social media gives you a chance to really work on your own brand, right? Because your own brand stays with you forever. Okay. And what do I mean by own brand? It gives you a chance for people to see that you're prevalent in your area, that you've got knowledge. It gives people a chance to see your personality. And where I've had some successes on social media, and I don't have a large following, I'm trying to increase it. I refuse to buy a following, right? I refuse to do that. I want it to be proper and organic. But even if my relatively modest followers, I've had quite a few people reach out to me off my Instagram account that have then transacted with me. And I haven't put no real focus in it, but I am now, because I want it to, I know it can be a really good business tool. You're right, it can totally consume some people to the point where they're not focusing on the things that actually generate revenue, generate business. But you really should have, you can earn an incredible amount of money with no social media presence, but get ahead of the game. You will learn, if I can earn X, I'd like to earn X and a little bit more. And I believe by having social media, I can earn that little bit more. And as the world is changing, I think it will become more and more important. So it's not an absolute prerequisite, but is it important? Yeah. There's loads of things I want to improve on myself as a broker. There's loads of things I want to do better, many things. And social media is one of them. And I've kind of started that the last month, a couple of 3 months. I've tried to, and I'm going to keep trying because I want that to be really good. Not to a point where I'm losing any dignity for what I'm doing on it. Absolutely not. I'm not, but I can still have amazing content that's really engaging without losing any dignity. Sure. So that's where I'm trying to improve on social media. It definitely helps. Guy, last thing on social media. This is really good. This is really important. And this is what a really good company does for you. So, this is where social media is brilliant, and this is where, when done well, it works amazingly. Last year, amazing villa in Al Barari that I had available for sale. Sold it twice. Sold it in a payment plan to someone, and somebody else came along and sold it purchased it for outright cash for an even higher amount. This is a payment plan direct from an owner, unheard of really, but not many deals have been structured that way before. But I did, which is good, and then we structured a few more that way. So sometimes quite nice to be, doing pioneering things rather than just follow and create. And that's a big thing about Dubai real estate. You can get very inventive and creative here whilst staying totally with both sides protected, most important thing. But anyways, what I was going to say is this. We had this amazing villa. It was upgraded to within an inch of its life. Super, super cool, very bougie, very exclusive. And in Al Barari, on the Nest in Al Barari at that time, I think the most expensive villa sold, 21 million. I can't remember what it was. And this villa that I had, we've done some amazing videos, great photos, some real strong marketing material, creative brochures, PDFs, and of course had an online presence. And it was my boss who said, right, actually that villa's amazing. So what I'm going to do, we're going to promote this on social media, and we're not going to do it. It's above sponsored links. It's way above sponsored links. But it's targeted, identified marketing. Okay. Right. And it was the right villa to do it with. We did that targeted, identified marketing. And it cost us money. But we did it, and we did it right, because you can do it wrong. Yeah. In the space of, and he'll verify this, speak to Mark and he'll tell you this. He'll say, Darren's telling the truth here. In the space of 2 days, I got 49 leads from Instagram alone, of which I'd say 12 or 14 of those leads were people who were serious buyers and had the budget for it, of which 4 of those people have since transacted with me. Wow. And that villa ended up selling for 35.4 million dirham. Wow. The previous record on that community was about 21 million.
Amazing.
So my point is, social media can work brilliantly if done right.
Yeah.
And especially if your company help you with that and support you with that. That's where it's amazing.
That's an incredible lead generator as well. Like you said, like even 4 went on to transact on.
And it's outside the box.
Yeah,
it's not just your typical, let's put it on Property Finder or Bayou or our own website, okay?
Yeah.
It's outside the box. It's kind of going above and beyond for your clients.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, my client thought and still thinks that, no, she loves me to bits, and so she should. Got an amazing price, but since then, she's transacted 2 more times with me. You know,
amazing.
Two mansions that she's bought through me, and now she won't deal with anyone else. Now, why is that? A, because she does trust me, and I have worked really hard to make sure she does trust me through knowledge and through ethics and morals. Okay, she also will only work with me because I got her amazing results. And it all links back to relationships at the beginning of our, when we was talking, why relationships are so important. That's one of the reasons.
Definitely check out Darren's Instagram handle, which is Luxury Broker Dubai. There's a lot of posts and reels on there of you giving advice, market information, things that are going on, and that will hold a lot of value. So just before we wrap up then, mate, and you've shared a hell of a lot of advice on this, but anyone considering moving to Dubai for work, what advice would you give?
So first and foremost, do your research, do your homework. Whatever industry you're going into, work out, find which company you want to work for, reach out, speak to people who can help you be connected to those companies. Do your research when you know what industry you're going into. Find out how much do you need to live. If you're going to commission only, definitely find out how much you need to survive, live. Not survive, live for the first 2, 3, 4 months, whatever it might be. Do all that homework, do that research by speaking to people in Dubai now or to people like yourself, Guy. So research, and then add a bit on. If you think you need X to survive, go with more. If you think you need this amount of months on your own, take a bit more, because when you do that research, when you put that commitment in and do that research, that enables you to move forward with a different mindset. And what I mean is, if I hadn't done that homework and that research, I wouldn't have put myself in a position where, I wanted to move forward. And in life, I believe we have 2 lives. We have 2 lives, and the second one starts when you realize actually there's only one life, and sometimes that second life starts too late. And from my point of view, sometimes when it feels a little bit too scary to jump, that's exactly when you should jump, as long as you've gone and made sure, well, I'm jumping and I've got a bit of a safety rope on me, and there's a net way down there, so I shouldn't die, okay? But when it feels a little bit too scary to jump, that's when you jump, because otherwise you stand still for the rest of your life. And that's something I've never been prepared to do, ever. So do all of your homework and research so you can think, I'm going to jump. I'm going to jump. Because, and so often people say, oh yeah, okay, but what if it doesn't go according to plan? What if it doesn't quite go how you think it will? Okay, well, go back to doing what you were doing before. Move back home. Because what if it turned out just as you hoped? What if it turned out better than you could ever imagine? What if, so from my point of view, I say do all that homework so you can think like I think and like I feel, like many others do who live there. Because they've all often thought, should I jump? It feels scary. That's when you jump.
Ultimately, everybody tries their best to do that research, but it's the jump that they need the encouragement to do. And
listen, it's 2 lives, and you only realize it's one life when you start living your second one. And sometimes you start living your second one too late, and that's the danger. You can go back to doing what you're doing. I could go back to the UK and do whatever I want. So have the confidence to jump, and you can get the confidence to jump if you do the homework.
Amazing, mate. Well, I know you said you like the sound of your own voice, but so do we. And we would certainly would like you to come back on in the near future, mate. We definitely want to certainly touch base before the end of the year. Let's make sure you're on track to achieve what you're doing. But follow Darren at Luxury Broker Dubai. Follow his journey. It's exciting. And yeah, no, thank you very much for joining us, Darren, and sharing your insights and your journey. And like I said, I'm sure everybody listening will take a hell of a lot of value from it.
Mate, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure because A, I like talking about my journey. B, I want other people to have that same journey. You know, I do, I really do. And thanks to you that I started it. So it's always never too much bother for me to come on and do this or speak to people who are considering talking to you. You know that anytime, mate. So
I did
pleasure.
the easy bit, mate. You've done the hard bit. Thank you for joining us today on the episode with Darren Jarvis. If you would like any support in either finding a job in Dubai or relocating, feel free to reach out to our team. The link is in the description below, or visit our website at guylast.com.